Going.
Got Coach Rodriguez here. Coach, if you want to just tell us what you've seen kind of these first couple of days of practice.
I've seen a lot of improvement. To be honest with you, we still got a long way to go as a defensive line. I think this is a work in progress, and I like where we've gone so far. If I'm always being honest with my guys, the standard is really high. We want to get these guys playing at the highest level possible. So I'm partial to always kind of criticizing and coaching because that's our job. But these guys are giving me really good effort. But we're trying to fight a lot of things, habits, technique, and just the way they're looking at the game. So we're doing our best to make sure that we are putting them in the best position possible. They're giving me great work, and they're improving every day.
Ode?
Hi, Robert. When you look at the extended off season, I know some players and coaches already talked about maybe not the way you wanted to go, but maybe somewhat a blessing in disguise when you talk about new schemes, new techniques from your personal perspective in the front four. Do you feel that longer than expected off season is maybe showing some benefits now in October?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, it's actually making up for all the time that we lost in the spring. And then considering that Tyler probably wouldn't have been with us at the time, it's benefiting him as well. And so it's been really good for all the guys to have the whole crew together and just to go back to basics and build it from the ground up, because I think we had established a bit of a foundation in the springtime. And as much as you try through Zoom meetings, you just cannot sustain that. So getting them back out, getting to work all the minutia, that comes into our technique, and getting in there, working with your hands and feet, it has been a blessing for us. And I think if we had to rush that process, I think it really would have slowed down the whole development of the transition that we're trying to make in the defensive line.
Chris Carpenter?
Hey, Coach. Guys are always kind of swimming and trying to figure it all out when you get them out there to start spring ball. Where have you seen the most maybe growth or progress with certain guys from then until now to where maybe they're just kind of playing more naturally?
Yeah, without a doubt, there's two guys to me that stand out in that regard. Has been TJ Pesafeo. I think when I got my hands on TJ, I saw a guy who, to me, the way he moved, I said, this guy's got some skills, and I like his skill set, and I certainly liked his work ethic from the jump. Seeing him in the film from last year, I think Marvin's the one that's always commenting. He's like a different guy. It's like looking at a different guy altogether. And then most recently, Anthony Cooper, I think, has done a really good job for me. And he lost a little bit of weight. Had him at 3 technique in the spring. He's a guy that gives us a lot of position flexibility. He can play inside and outside. His skills are starting to flourish a little bit with some of the technique that I'm teaching. So to add more guys, add more depth to the equation, guys that can put their best foot forward and play better than any of you guys have ever seen. I don't know any different, but to me, from spring to now, I think TJ, Coop, and Stanley Lambert. I think Stanley hasn't quite gotten over the hill to where we say, hey, we can just cut you loose and let you go. But Stanley has probably looked better than he's looked since I've been.
Chris Cartman?
Yeah, Coach, just you're obviously going to have to be by committee always at defensive line to some degree, right? So what do you think about just the overall depth of the group, and especially at ends now that you've moved a couple of these guys inside the 3 technique?
I think the jury's still out, but I'll say this. I got a lot of candidates. And I got a lot of guys that I chose that have certain skills that I really like, and I want to see them continue to develop from here to the time we walk out to the Coliseum. I think it's too early. I know people are starting to get anxious because we got the schedule and we know who we're playing to say, this is the guy, this is the guy. It's too early for us. And it's too early for us to know who's going to get the percentage of the snaps. I think there's a couple guys I think you can figure out that are going to be out on the field. But I feel good about the possibilities across the board that we can create depth. I think everybody has a couple warts that we need to continue to work through. But there's a lot of things that we can do with different guys, and there's a lot of options because those guys are getting better pretty much every day. So the improvement that they've got makes me feel a lot better about our depth going forward, that we can put together a defensive line that can help this defense. But I'm not saying we got 8 dudes that can go, 8 dudes that are ready to roll, but we just have so many guys that I don't have any slugs in my room. Everybody brings something to the table. So that's a positive.
Jeff Metcalf.
Robert, you seem incredibly enthusiastic about being here. You look at your social media, the recruiting you've been doing. What's this job just like for you? Can you just talk a little bit about what being here means to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, not just to me, but to my family. I think the fact that we left the NFL for this opportunity says how I felt about the people here. We have just been blown away by how beautiful it is out here to live here. My family is extremely happy. So that's an added incentive to what we do. But more than that, I've been waiting for my opportunity. I've been waiting for my chance to do it my way and to have a place where the very first thing that Coach Herm said to me was, I want you to be yourself. I want you to be yourself and let that shine. It has been one of the most empowering things I've ever heard in my life. So I always go back to my training. I go back to everything I've been through as a player and as a coach, but especially these last couple of years with the Vikings, as getting me prepared for this. But this is my opportunity to run it my way. And so being under Marvin and getting a chance to do it my way with that type of guidance and support and leadership, same thing with AP, it means the world to me. I really am motivated and driven to give this place the defensive line they deserve. And I think it's going to be a continued thing. We're going to work through the season, continue to recruit, continue to get guys in here. But the guys in this room, I expect, because I'm so grateful for this opportunity, I want that to shine through with the way my guys play.
Hode?
Robert, sometimes nose tackles like long snapper. If somebody's talking about him, then he probably screwed up rather than did a good thing. But when you talk about a guy like DJ Davidson and actually being one of the older guys, obviously when you have a lot of inexperience and youth over there, what have you seen from him, maybe going back to spring now until October?
Yeah, in DJ, I see a whole world of possibilities in him. I think that dude. So the problem with guys like DJ is he's a big athlete. So what happens is people often tell him to be the athlete first. And what I've hopefully brought out in DJ is that you're a big, powerful man first who happens to be athletic. And so when you use that power as they say you never forget a first impression. Your first impression should be that power. I'll put my hands on people and making them feel my power, and then changing that up with my athleticism. It just so happens I have the feet to go sideways. I coached a guy named Linval Joseph, I think one of the best, but I can assure you he was leading with power. And then when you got to see his athleticism, it made everything, the realm of possibilities for him was just so much bigger. And so that's what we've done with DJ. I've been thoroughly impressed by him. I think that he has the possibilities to be the type of nose tackle that you do notice for a good reason, because he's moving human beings and making them break their backs. If you don't double team DJ, I expect him to be an issue because he's played with great technique. He's still getting better like everybody else, but I've been thoroughly impressed with him. A big guy with power who does have the athletic ability to pass rush as well. So I think with DJ and TJ, I expect those guys to make an impact pretty quick.
Go ahead, Hode.
And last one for me, Robert. When you look at this really talented linebacker group behind you, do you think that puts maybe a little pep in the step in that defensive line, knowing that you got bona fide playmakers right behind you, just really salivating to make a play?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what I like even better is I got to give AP a ton of credit that he has encouraged those guys to really hone in on what we're doing defensive line-wise to put us on the same page. I can't tell you how refreshing that is. Not all linebackers coaches are like that. And so those kids are motivated to come and listen to what I'm telling my D-line so they can make better decisions in what they're doing. And then occasionally we're going to be wrong. We're going to misplay something. They got to make us right. They've done it. And I think, you look at Black, Kyle, and Merlin, those guys have done a great job playing behind us. They make us better when they pressure. They come to me and say, Coach, I got in your way there. I'll get out of your way to let you guys do what you got to do. And that level of awareness, I think, is just it's awesome. And I know another thing, we're excited about our linebackers and secondary covering because it gives us a chance to do what we do up front and go get to the quarterback. So I'm really excited about the linebacking core, everybody behind us. I think it amps up the amount of responsibility for us to do what we're supposed to do up front. That it? You guys are easy, baby.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys all look y'all look great in your own setting. You guys are air conditioned. You guys are good to go.
Thanks, man.
How it goes these days.
That's it. See you, boys.